Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm continue with Python revision 2, and those who didn't watch my previous video, I post in the description the link. Kindly open it and revise the concept of Python. Okay, so today I'll start with type of statement. What are the type of statement? How the statement of instruction is given to the computer to perform any task. So Python, it will support three type of statement. One, we can call it as an empty statement. Another one, simple statement. The third one is a compound statement. What is the meaning of empty statement? It's just like a simplest one and which does nothing. For example, you can see here, I'm creating the for loop and num is my variable, and I'm creating some list here. If I'm going to calculate if num module 2 equal to 0. So whatever it is divisible by 2, then you just do nothing. You just use only the pass statement. What actually it will be happening in the block of codes, it will not do any statement. You are not printing anything or calculating anything. So by flow, it will pass and go to the next one. Else, you are printing the number. So by using the pass, you are creating the empty statement. Clear? And what is the meaning of simple statement? Any single executable statement in Python, we can call it as a simple statement. So here, ABC equal to 10, 20, 30. Print of A. This is a simple statement. It is an executable statement also. Next, what is the meaning of compound statement? It represents a group of statement. So example, whenever you are mentioning the colon, the indentation will come. All the indentation is belongs to this particular statement header. So that we can call it as a group of statement and compound statement. Clear? What are the types of statement? The next one is the flow of execution. So obviously the flow of execution in Python program, it will start from the first line. There is a 5 lines are there. So obviously the normal program, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, like that, the sequence it will follow. That we can call it as a sequential statement. Okay, you are not going to perform any complex calculation or decision making. Next one, if you're taking selection or conditional statement. What is the meaning of selection or conditional statement? Sometimes you have to check the condition. Based on that, the certain code will be working and certain code will be skipping. Clear? If you want to check the condition, if there is A is greater than B. So if the A is greater than B, then whatever the indentation here near to if, that statement will be executing. Otherwise, it will skip and move to the next statement. That is what selection or conditional statement. And what is the third one? Iteration of looping. What is it meaning? One particular sentence or one particular block will be running multiple times. That way we can call it as a looping or construct. I hope everyone is clear. What are the three types of flow of execution? Okay. Now next we can go into the simple example of sequential statement. So it will start from the first line and execute one after other till the last line. Here you can see an example, area of a rectangle. What I'm doing, x is a variable, int of input of enter the value of L. This statement is the first statement, it will execute. What is the second statement? Why you are asking the user to enter the value of B. And third statement is what? You are finding out the area of a rectangle. So this one, area equal to x into b. This statement also will be executing. Fourth statement, you are printing the result by using the print function. So it is doing the flow of execution. Start from 1, 2, 3, 4. This is an example of sequential statement. What is the next one? Selection or conditional statement. So there are many forms you can do the conditional. First one is a simple if with else, if with elif and nested if. So if you're taking a simple if, what is simple if condition and statement 1, statement 2, like that many statements you can mention inside the block. Okay. Now this one only we can call it as an indentation. After colon, every time you have to mention the indentation. If the indentation is not, for example, if the statement 2 is start from the same indentation, if the statement 2 is coming here, means that is not belong to the if condition. Is it clear? Now let's see the example here. That's what I have mentioned. Identify the difference between the two programs. Here, the first syntax I have mentioned here. X equal to int of input of enter the number. If x is greater than or equal to 0, the two print statement are inside the indentation of if condition. So you have entered the positive number, program over. So what number you have mentioned? 2. So both the statement is executed. But when you are mentioning -1, both the statement will not executed. If the condition is false, both the statement will not be executing. Okay. Now take the another example. Here the statement 2 I have mentioned outside of the indentation. Right. So here enter the number. You're checking the same condition. And in one print statement you have mentioned you have entered the positive number. But another print statement, it is not the same line. You have not mentioned the indentation. So what is happening to, if it is happening, if you are giving the number 2, you have entered the positive number. This also will execute and it will come out from the block and it will execute the program over. But if you are mentioning -1, the program over only will be executing because it is out of the block. I hope everyone is clear. If two print statements are there inside the block, both the statements will not be executing. Here, one print statement, it will be there outside of the block. That's what, if the condition is false, outside of the block is executing. What is if-else? When you are giving the any option for the no block if condition, that will be become a else block. Here enter the number x is greater than or equal to 0. You have entered the positive number. Else you have entered the negative number. What about if with elif? Number of elif is depend on number of condition. If you want to check multiple condition, then you have to use if with elif. If the first condition is false, then next condition will check. Like that it will keep on going. But if one of the condition is true, the block of statement executes. Then program ends. If none of the conditions are clear, then you have to go with else statement and print the message. Clear? Now let's see the program. Int of input of enter the number. I am giving here if x is greater than 0, you have entered the positive number. If it is less than 0, you have entered the negative number. Else, you have entered the 0. Is it clear? Now these are the next one, nested if. There are two type of nested if you can use it. One, if condition, inside again if and else. Again elif the statement, next one is a else. What is the next form of if condition is? If, again the statement will be there. In elif you have mentioned if and else. So in this first one, in if inside that if and else. Here elif inside if and else. So anyway you can use the program. And what is the third one? Again if, elif, in else you have mentioned if and else. Clear? What is the difference among all the three? In first one, you have mentioned inside the if and else. In the second one, you have mentioned elif inside if else. And the third one, you have mentioned else inside if else. Clear? And fourth one, in each one, you have mentioned if and else. In each condition, again you are checking the multiple condition. Depends on the program need, you have to choose any one in all the form. Okay. Next one we can call it as a looping statement. As I told you, looping means nothing but a particular statement or block of statement will run multiple times. So there are two looping concept will be helpful. One we can call it as a for, another one is a while. So for loop we can call it as a definite loop, which means you know how many times the looping is going to be executed. While loop means it will give the indefinite loops. Okay, you don't know how many times the loop is going to be executing. That situation you have to use the while loop. Now what is the syntax? For, control variable in sequence or item or in range or statements. Here while also test expression, body of the loop, or you have to initialization of the control variable, while condition, body of the loop, and you can do increment or decrement. Now let's see the examples of for and while loop, how it is working. First, when you're taking for loop for I in range of 5. So here, if you're mentioning 5 directly here, which means there is no starting point, no end point. So by default, it will start with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it won't count the last element 5. Till 5 it won't do. Why? Because it is starting with 0. So 5 times the particular loop will be running. Clear now? And the same program, how can you write it in while loop? I equal to 0. I am giving the initialization here. It will start from 0. I is less than 5. Print of I plus equal to 1. I plus equal to 1, what is the meaning? You are using the assignment operator. I equal to I plus 1, right? So what the condition will be? First, the value of I is 0. The condition is I is less than 5. Condition is true. It will print the value 0. Then it will do the increment. So I equal to 0 plus 1. 1. Again the loop will go until it reaches the 5, the loop will be running. So the output will be like this. Now the next, how can you use the for loop? Here I am giving the starting value as 0 and ending value as 6. But it will start with what? 0 to 5 it will be doing. The last value, that 0 n means n minus 1 only it will do. Clear? So print of I. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 you will get the answer. The same way here, how can you use I equal to 0? I is less than or equal to, you can mention. Then print of I plus equal to 1. What is the third example? Here I am giving 3 arguments. The starting value, ending value, and this one we can call it as a step value. Every 2 step you have to omit it. Okay. Now what is the output? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. It is the alternative number it is mentioning because it is a step value. Okay, and here how can you use it? I equal to 0, I is less than 10. Print of I plus equal to 2. Here I have mentioned I plus equal to 1. Here you have to do I plus equal to 2. Clear? And the fourth one, if you are using the negative one, 10, 0, minus 1. See, remember, when you are using the positive, you can mention 0 to 10. It is not necessary. I will show it in the example. Here, when you want to do the backward counting, definitely you have to mention the third argument as a negative one. Now you can see here, it will start from the backward. Okay, and here what is that? I equal to 2, I is less than 0, print of I minus equal to 1. Okay, so this is what you can use it for loop and while loop. Okay, the next concept is nested loop. What is the meaning of nested loop? A loop contains another loop in its body. This we can call it as a nested loop. So here how the nested loop will work, the inner loop will execute for each value of the outer loop. This is very important. For example, if the outer loop is 4 times and the inner loop is 5 times, means it will execute 20 times. Clear? Let's see with an example. I'll use it in ideally. So here I have created the table from 2 to 4. Okay. And this is I am creating I is a outer loop. And what is the value it is taking? 2 to 5. So which means it will take the value from 2, 3, 4. Okay. And what I am printing inside the for loop is print of I. Which means the first time it will give print of 2, then 3, then 4. And what is inner loop? Inner loop is j variable. And it is going to accept the value 1 to 10, which means 1 to 9 it will accept. What you are printing inside that? I am printing, which means what is I? 2 into what is j? 2 into 1 equal to I into j, which means 2 into 1 is what? That much. You can first look into the output. Can you see here how what is the output it is showing? So 2 ones are 2, till 9 it is showing, 3 also, 4 also. So till 2, 3, 4 table is opening. Now I'll see the output and I will explain now. What is the outer loop now? 2. After that it is coming table of 2. It is printing the statement. Then which value it is taking? Then value 1 it is taking. So the outer loop of 1 value. So the inner loop it is taking everything starting from 1 till 9. Is it clear? So first it is taking outer loop what? I equal to 1. So here you can see in the first row everything is 2 only. After that in inner loop it is starting with 1 till it will get completed of 9. It will be running. So the 2 table is finished. Then after completing this, then again the value of I will change to 3. So the 3, that's what the 3, and again it is starting from 1 to 9. Then it will evaluate table of 3. Again the value of I will change to 4. Then again it will start from 1 to 9. Is it clear? That's what it has mentioned. For every value of outer loop, the inner loop will execute all the value. Clear now how the nested loop is working? Okay. The next concept is jump statement and break and continue. So what is the meaning of jump statements? Either it will terminate the loop or it is skipping some of the print statement. Okay. Now let's see how the break and continue is working. Now what is the program? I am creating the for loop here for I in range 1, 20, which means it is taking the value 1 to 19. Right. After that, what I am trying to do, I am using the if condition to check the value from 1 to 90. Whatever the value is divisible by 6, you are going to break the loop. Otherwise, you are going to print the number. And finally, this print statement I am mentioning outside of the loop. So I have mentioned loop over. So how this program will execute? It will, what is the value of I first? It is taking the value 1. And it is taking the condition. 1 module 6 equal to 0? No, because it is not divisible by 0. So what it will happen? It will come here. What it will come here and print the value 1. The condition is false, so it is printing the value 1. Again, what is the next value? Again, it is going to the loop. It is taking the second value as 2. Again, 2 module 6 equal to 0? No, it is also not divisible by 0. Then it is printing 2. Like that, 3, 4, 5. When it comes to 6 module 6 equal to 0, the condition is true. Then it is breaking the loop. So it is breaking the loop and it is not going to continue further. From 7 to 19, it is not going to loop anymore. Then the final statement, the loop over, the statement will be executing. Clear? The same program, instead of break, if I am using continue, what it will happen? You just check the output. It is starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that, it is not breaking the loop. It is just skipping the value. Continue means it will skip the value of 6 and remaining 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again, it is divisible by 2. So, it is not going to print anything, but it is continue till 19. Then finally, the loop over will printed. Clear? What is the difference between break and continue? Here, once it reach the condition is true, it is just breaking the loop. It will not continue further. But here, it is skipping the value and continue and finish the loop. Is it clear now? Break and continue. Okay. The next concept is loop else statement. So Python also supports the else statement. Always the else statement, you have to use it for the condition. If condition, if else condition, like that. But here in Python, it will support for the loop condition also. You can use the else statement. If else statement is used with the for loop, the else statement is executed when the loop has exhausted iterating the list. If the else statement is used with the while loop also, okay, is executed when the condition becomes false. Let's see the example. Now this is the syntax. You can see here in for loop, I'm first start with for loop for I in range 1, 10. Print of I, else print loop over. So when it becomes exhausted till the 9 value it is over, you are just mentioning the, instead of print loop over, I'm mentioning using the else condition loop over. The same way here, I equal to 10, I'm using the backward counting. I is greater than 0, print of I minus. Again, print else print loop over. So once it becomes here in while loop, once the condition becomes false, the else block will be executing. Here in for loop, once it reach exhausted, which means it can it do all the looping, then finally the loop over will be executing. Okay, so till here I stop. Okay, the next Python revision tour, I am going to start with all the string, list, tuple, dictionary concept. So whoever has not watched my previous video, I posted in the description box. Please do watch and please subscribe my channel and share it with your friends. If you have any query, please post your query in the comment box. I will reply to you. Thank you so much.